Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Cancer June 2024 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel St. James, clairvoyant. Well, we have a very interesting deck this month. It was given to me very generously by someone about 4 or 5 years ago, I suppose. It's called Dreamkeeper, and I didn't use it at all after they provided it to me, but about 6 months ago I looked at it again and boom, the light came down and my eyes were opened, and it's been exceedingly accurate since then. So I'm going to use it now for you. Now, of course, over the course of the last month, I've provided a number of one-on-one clairvoyant readings to people from different countries around the world over FaceTime and Skype. And if you might be interested in seeing what's involved in that, at the end of the video, just check out the description. It sets out all the relevant information there. I charge for those. Now, what I don't charge for is another spiritual gift that was provided to me at birth, and that is the gift of healing. Now, healing is where I actually act as the fiber optic cable, if you like, between being itself and maybe you, where if there is some emotional difficulty, or you're at your wit's end, or there's something that's just not right with you, or you feel concerned about something, then the gift is employed without charge, because I'm to receive nothing in return for it. That is to say, I provide it freely. There's no obligation. There are no strings attached. You won't be recommended to buy anything or to take anything from me, like a reading or anything else. It literally is the free lunch. So if you are of the mind to, and you think you might benefit from it, and you'll know if you do think that is the case, then please just reach out to me. I do put time aside each day to conduct the healings, and so I'm very happy to do it without any obligation attached. Great to see the subscribers again. Thank you for inviting me to your home. You know, I love your company, really I do. And you know, we just take 5 cards here, don't we? Because that's all we need, because they speak a lot to us. It's not just a 10-second or 5-second look at a card, is it? So, show me the magic. 10 of Swords. Ace of Cups. Knight of Cups. Here is the Emperor. A very fascinating spread of things. Let's just see how they all mix together. Then there's the 5 of Swords. We're going to see how everything mixes together in just a second, because I will bring the camera around. You and I can have a good close look at the imagery that's on these, painted onto these cards together, while the energies speak to us both, and I'll do the reading for you. This is going to be a great month for you, and it is going to be highlighted by sensitivity, emotional awareness, and the reintegration of yourself and coming to understand and accept yourself, which is building personal power for you. Now let's have a look at the Ace of Cups. Well, the Ace of Cups here is quite straightforward. This picture, it just shows one of delight, a woman in what looks like a sort of a ballerina's costume, holding the chalice down through which pours the divine love, and a little bird sitting on top of it there. This is the Lord of the roots of power. I think Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Libra are going to be important to you here, but this is a time of overflowing love, and in particular of you developing emotional clarity and a deep love of yourself. This is speaking of a love which is coming from the divine in its purest sense and bathing you, supporting you, guiding you. May well be a new relationship here. I think you could hear of a birth or a pregnancy. And, well, I do see sensual passion. Yes, they're there, but there's also here just pouring up from it the essence of emotion, the depth of feeling, intuitive emotion really, and intimacy, pleasure, beauty, happiness, and your intuitive powers are going to be at their best. There's a forgiving here. I think a forgiving of yourself. This represents a deep feeling and heightened intuition of your emotional sensitivity. Now, because this has turned up where it has, I think it's a sign that you are or should be in tune with your deepest feelings of compassion to yourself and emotional awareness. Now, as the essence of emotions, this energy here really is the seed of your deepest unconscious feelings. And these intuitive vibrations, if you like, well, they are largely outside of your conscious awareness because they live in the hidden depths of your soul. They are instinctive emotions that do inspire, I think, an empathy for others with you, but also for you to follow the longing of your heart. And these stirrings are coming directly from the source of divine love. I'll be blunt about it. I think that these aces, you see, they are sort of sitting in the realm which is between the divine realm and the material realm. They are about to come into form. And so I think here that this emotion that's seeded within you is now very deep, but very gentle at the same time. So use gentle grace to support and inspire others. This is asking you in a way how you can offer this love for the benefit and the healing of other people. The message of this card coming through also is that when you have questions about what to do or how to perceive something, to go within and see it bathed in light and find the answer to the question contained in love. Now, these emotions running around here I don't think are just romantic love, although it can well be the foundation of a romance, I have to say. Instead, it's a very deep affection that's seen here, and an affection for yourself in particular during this time. I think that this is a month where you are going to be really coming to terms with who you are and loving who you are. There's a very natural and embracing quality of this love here, and it can be expressed in so many different ways. There is a satisfaction to be gained by you from helping other people, that's indicated. And there's also a connection to the arts and expressing your feelings. Now, in relationships, the card means true love or just spontaneously falling in love. But there's also a profound joy of nature here. Love, security, trust, and this real sense of caring for yourself. Now, I want to go to the other side of that diagonal, which is the Emperor. And don't you think that this is very complementary to that in a way, interestingly, because this is actually Mars, and Mars is a very good planet for you. And it is in this spread. Now, here we have the Emperor in the crimson robes, of course, and here are the signs for Aries that are there. So there is a sense of pushing out it's a discovery. And I think it's a discovery of yourself going on here, crowned and soldiers guarding in a fortress. Now, here's the number 4, and that represents aspects of the physical world, the 4 directions, the 4 seasons, the 4 elements, 4 phases of the moon. The 4 geometric figures, basically, which are the circle, the square, the line, the triangle. Of course, there are a lot more as well. But the 4 represents completion and starting something new from a strong foundation. And I'm very much getting the sense that you are completing a way of looking at yourself, setting a foundation and starting something new for yourself. You see, the Emperor, he has experienced life on many levels. Now, emperors get involved in war, don't they? But he has experienced pain, hardship, death, love, beauty, and prosperity. He has earned his title as the Emperor, as in many respects I think you have as well. Because I think you're in the process of gaining a spiritual wisdom like him, and he has found his personal power. Now, this is guiding you, this energy, to find your personal power and your leadership abilities. Do you know, when you were young, your innocence and vulnerability, well, that was influenced by the rules and traditions of your family structure. Maybe there wasn't much structure there at all. And also influenced by the society and the environment that you grew up in. As you grew older, of course, you began to develop a personal code, and your personal power came into play. And then as a young adult, you began to question limiting beliefs and patterns that don't fit your life principles. A lot of those limiting beliefs and patterns you realize by virtue of the fact that you did grow up from a child to an adolescence and then to an adult, and had impacts of words and events and people on there. They left a mark on your subconscious, which can, of course, affect how you look at yourself and how you operate in the world. I think this is going to be undergoing a change, you know. This is a yang energy. It's very male energy. And it's giving you vision and vitality to start anew and to express new ideas. Now, he is teaching you how to set up fences around your life and how to develop your gifts and talents. He also shows you how to empower other people in a positive way. This is bringing a new dawn to express your gifts and ideas, to experience life to the fullest. And you might find, like him, that you want to take on some adventure or travel or explore the world. This is a very high energy, so there should be some movement going on in your life. Use the wisdom of the Emperor and honor what your heart speaks true. Build new, strong, and secure foundations in your life. Tap into your personal power, which you are going to be doing, and explore the potential, igniting new ideas. You see, with Mars here, you know that the symbol for Mars is a circle with an arrow coming out of it. Well, that circle can be seen as an egg, and within the egg lies all potential and all possibility. And all potential and possibility for you. And like a little baby bird who has to break that egg shell in order to come out into the world, to be who they are, that can involve pain, struggle, and frustration. But it is worth it, because when that shell breaks open, that pain and struggle, it permits you to become who you are meant to be and to live your soul purpose. Well, why don't we continue on that horizontal line and have a look at this Five of Swords. Now, you know, I'll be frank with you, the Five and the Ten of Swords are very often seen as being difficult and hard and unlucky cards to have. But in your situation, I think these are very powerful, good, and liberating. The cards, of course, don't have fixed meanings. They depend on how they are placed together and what the spiritual energy is that's coming through. But in any event, let's have a look at this Five. This is good for you. And have a look at the painting, and I think this is sort of instructive, because here is a woman that appears to be set through with a fishing hook going through her. There's a very unruly sea out there, but look at her eyes. Her eyes are fixed, firm, and they give out the message of, do not mess with me, I am not in the mood for it, I am on a mission. These octopus hands here, well, the octopus is known to be a very intelligent creature. These two people here in boats, what might they mean? Look, I'm going to tell you, I think these two people represent your spirit guides who are watching how you manage things in this journey along the play, the stage of life, and what you do and think and how you grow. They are looking at you in the context of this divine love, which is coming down to you as well. Now, what we see here is that the first thing is that it is Venus in Aquarius. Venus is a lover and not a fighter, whereas Aquarius is a fighter, usually for humanitarian causes, and Aquarius can be quite detached. And I think now is the time for you to have a certain detachment from some issues which have been clouding your mind and hurting your precious heart. Because this is about the force of thought, and it's about the positive transformation that you have through negative experiences I think that you have gone through. You are defeating their ghosts. Your consciousness is expanded by surrendering to your higher self and connecting with this. Old wounds and fears are going to be defeated, and you're going to recognize old patterns and subconscious ways of doing things. Your subconscious is like the software. Your body is like the hardware. The software will get the hardware to do whatever the software tells it to do. So now I think you're in the process of going through a software upgrade where you re-upgrade the way that you are looking at yourself and what your situation is. Now it may be, and it probably is the case, I think, that there is someone or something, maybe around at present, but probably from the past, that is hanging over you like a dark cloud, a selfish or controlling presence, which leaves you feel victimized or defeated in some way. Well, this is about the power of your thought. Once you recognize this, call it by name, and know that the past is dead, you will make changes to defeat it. Now, it could be that you see yourself in a position of defeat, or your enemies are lining up against you. But this is a power that is aiding you in a ruthless and decisive victory over those old thoughts and over obstacles and hurdles that may be present in your life now. It could also be that you are dominating or overpowering somebody or a situation when perhaps you could or should be taking a more selfless approach. Or perhaps you are trying too hard to control a situation by force. I think that this is speaking of the need for when the darkness comes, just endure it. Go through it. And by going through it, that darkness will be turned into a balm or lotion that you can then spread all over yourself to give your body moisture and protection from those things. This is what's happening here. Because it's a fear of defeat in the future, I think. And that fear isn't real. The thing that you worry about is not real. When has anything ever turned out the way that you have ever imagined it was going on? But you learn through what you go through, and you should be aware that any adversity, any hardship makes you stronger. Do you know everybody goes through hardship? Everybody has to go through down times. Fear, of course, is irrational in nature, and it doesn't reflect the real situation, but it does stick into that most primal element within you, what I would call the lizard brain, where you get that fight or flight mechanism. But this is talking about to use that human brain of yours to detach, to see things as they are, to look at yourself as if you were in a film and to say, what should that character be doing now? How should they react to this? These instincts that are here are deep, very deep, and irrational instincts. That, you see, the mental mind doesn't want to unravel them, but you're looking at things now with the benefit of the spiritual mind and knowing that you have the power and the love to make things as they are. You are not defined by your fears at all. Fear is something that everybody struggles with, but it's not something to be worried about. It's just an ordinary part of life. You know, we are brought up to think that the world is rosy, that everything's going to happen, that we're going to go off and marry a prince in a castle, or that we're going to get to be with Snow White and have jewelry and drive Lamborghinis and everything like that. And what people don't tell you is that life is difficult, but that is normal. And you now have the strength to adapt to that normality and to just work with things and change the channel. Now, let's have a look at that 10 that's there. Now, of course, you are the crab. Now, the crab in mystical thought symbolizes the descent of the soul into matter when it spends some time in materialization, that is on the seashore, but can always scurry back to the water, which is pure consciousness. I think that this is a time when you are going to be not scurrying back to the water of pure consciousness, but you're going to be intending to go there. Now, this is actually quite see, there's water under here which is reflecting it, interestingly. And these things here, these stabs, these things poking into this woman, do you know what I think they represent? I think they represent the sum of those things in your life, throughout your life history, that you have locked away, that you have decided, I'm not paying attention to it. But they're there. They're still there, because all those events, things that you're ashamed of, things that you messed up, sorry about that, let's give myself a concussion, things that you might have messed up, for example, something that didn't work out, a disappointment, words that people said, things that you did that you feel guilty about and don't want to remember. These things are nevertheless within you. And those things are avenues by which they present doorways through which things can attack you emotionally, mentally, and you can ruminate on them. And you can see yourself as being the sum of all of those things that went wrong. Do you know, it's very natural for people to remember the things that have gone wrong in their life rather than to remember the things that have gone right in their life. Now, I think what's happening now with you as the crab is that you are going out, not just into the shallows of the shoreline, but you are going out into deep water. And in the deep water, you are going to find yourself. This is about a real transformation, a final strike that is resulting in your rejuvenation, a new you, a victorious stand that you're making, regaining the real you, the ruin of the old structure that is within you, a conclusion to it, and a change, and finding your place in the world. Because with all of these things that impact upon you, you're going to be going through the process of saying, this might seem strange, I accept, love, and bring back into myself these things, because they have all made me who I am today. And so you go through the process of completing yourself, not being ashamed of yourself, loving yourself. When you love yourself, you become beautiful to other people. And you also, by integrating these things from the past, you also become powerful. You exude charisma, magnetism, and strength. And you become released, free, liberated from the past. Now, I think that out in that deep water where you're finding yourself, you are going to be putting to death old habits. Or you're going to move away from painful entanglements. Now, this destruction, or this abandonment, or separation from a negative energy or issue, it is an act of liberation. Those things that you bring back into yourself and love, you don't need to talk to other people about them. Know that they are there within you, and that you are who you are. These things all came together to make you the beautiful, talented person that you are today. And I think by doing this, there will be a final letting go of the past, of habits or behaviors, and it will lead to a renewal of the whole structure. It's a final conclusion here. It's the end of a cycle. Now, you may feel completely drained from the process of bringing it into yourself, but it is worth it. Because you must finally put to death those things or an issue that have affected you, that are slowing you down, that act as baggage, personal baggage. Now, the separation or cutting away of things, that's going to allow your relationships to be really loving and generous and unfettered by negative things from the past. Now that takes us finally, I think, does it not, to this Knight of Cups here? Well, this goes to show that the court cards can be either male or female, as I can see here. The picture's quite straightforward, I think. I do think that Scorpio, again, Libra, are going to be important to you. And this does speak to me of cravings and the great possibility of transformation here as well. This can also relate to somebody else. A person, male or female, that is without conscience in the ordinary sense of the word. Someone who is perfectly ruthless, despite her rather angelic appearance there. Someone who cares intensely for power, for information, or their own aims. And they don't feel responsibility for anybody else, and they cannot be relied upon. They're someone who's subtle, crafty, someone who is manipulative is what I would get here. But for you, I think it does mean that your wishes and desires must be understood and recognized at the moment, because they are the fundamental driving forces in your life. But it's only possible to master and use them if you are wide awake and alert, and instead of suppressing them, you can use them in the process of becoming more aware. Now, when seen in this way, they're a vehicle that helps you journey into the world within. There is here a liberation here as well. Now, the realization of these possibilities before you, those possibilities that lie within that egg within you, they can now burst forward here. This other person, though, they may appear calm, but it actually masks a passion and intensity which can make them very volatile and fiery. Someone who's got a lot to offer, actually probably very, not of ability, but they can't be relied upon because the main responsibility that they have is to themselves, and they could be secretive, hiding their deepest desires. They're very good at shedding insight into other people's lives, though, because they've generally done it all themselves, but at worst, they are cruel, selfish, and reckless. Now, you want to say this to yourself, that I accept my sexual needs and passions and live them out with awareness. Because if you do that, you're going to discover a lot in the process and give yourself totally to the experience and observe yourself in it. But what secret wishes are you unwilling to admit to? Say this to yourself. I now live out my sexual desires because this makes me more vital and fulfilled. Well, what a really interesting set of cards, and what a great time. You are going to be unstoppable by the end of this month. You did a great job.
Well, I said that was an interesting deck, didn't I? Didn't you find it so? I think that this artwork on here is pretty good. Or, I think it's pretty good. I don't say that about a lot of tarot decks, but I enjoyed this, and it certainly spoke to me, and I'm sure it spoke to you as well. Anyway, unless I see you privately for a reading or for healing, then I'll see you again here in a month's time, next month. So, until I do see you again, remember one thing, and it is this, that you are a legend, and I look forward to seeing you again next month. Until then, it's bye for now.